Greetings. I'm live again on a Saturday. What's up with that? Welcome, everybody. I just kind of wanted to touch over a subject because I get on in the morning, have my cup of coffee, look at YouTube, and it just seemed like I was overwhelmed with crash videos. Crash is coming, crash is coming. When's the crash coming? And so, I started doing a little research and started looking at the history of real estate crashes. There are certainly a number of examples of real estate going up and down, but the history of crashes is not as prevalent as you would think it is. So it begs the question, and I touched on this a little bit yesterday with Pat. I mean, is it possible that we can just get to normal? Do we have to crash when prices are getting out of control and you've got all these bidding wars? Can we get to normal? Sometimes referred to as a soft landing. So, who knows? I mean, I think we need to take a look at it and examine it. And I think, hey, thanks, Antonio. I think it's possible. And here's why I think it's possible. And those of you that watch my channel know that I have this love affair with this little chart here. And I look at the blue line, which is new construction, or not new construction, but new listings. And then the yellow line is the homes coming under contract. And that's an indicator of where we could land. We've got 4,000 homes coming on the market right now and 3,500 going under contract. That's a difference of 500 homes. If the amount of purchases kind of stay right there, then in 6 months we will be at 20,000 units. Whereas right now, you can see that we're only floating around 4,900. And even looking at the Cromford Index yesterday, there are certain cities that are going down at about 10% a month. And that's an index that measures supply and demand, and it's a proprietary mathematical calculation. So I looked at it and said, okay, at 10% a month, which is the clip of what we're going down, we could end up with a Cromford Market Index of about 125. 100 is considered normal. Getting to 300 means it's still a very brisk market. Getting to 125 means bidding wars are over. Inventory's gone up enough to where you can comfortably shop for a home. Prices will be higher. There's no doubt the prices are going to be higher between now and 6 months from now because of this number right here. That number right there, 4912, is all you need to know that prices are going to continue to go up. And so that has to change. And the only way to get that to change is what we're seeing right now, which is a 500 unit difference over a period of time. Cody says, I think maybe a market correction of a small percentage are more likely, right? Have rent prices increased with house prices enough? I think it's possible that we can have a small percentage of a decline, but I also think it's possible that prices will get to a certain level, inventory will get normal, and then we'll just kind of muddle along. Our wages will catch up if home prices are staying about a 1 or 2% increase. Our wages, especially if we have inflation coming, will pick up. Rent prices, however, I don't see any relief on that. Rent is going up and up and up because there's just not enough housing, period, especially here in Arizona. Everybody's moving here. So I don't think, and I'm repeating myself, but I don't see a crash coming. Now, if there's a financial crisis, of course, you could have a crash. If the banks have a credit squeeze, you and I can't get the loan, nobody else can get the loans, then yep, there's a crash. But we can analyze that till the cows come home. I'm not a banking expert. I just wanted to put the question out there for folks to say, do you think it's possible that instead of a crash, we just have a normal return to how real estate works? Right now, we're through the roof. There's no doubt about it. It's just expensive. And I think the people that are going to regret this market, participating in it, are the ones that are coming in with all this cash and overpaying for a house just to get the house with their cash instead of using leverage because they've got all their cash tied up in an asset. And if that asset turns, even so slightly, they're losing cash instead of some equity. They're losing not all of their money, but it's nice to put 20, 25% down and then have a payment and leverage the growth. You're controlling a $500,000 asset with 20% down instead of flunking down $500,000, $600,000 cash. Now you don't have money to do anything else or any other investments. Those are the people that I think if we have a turnaround are going to regret it. And they're not going to dump their homes. They can't. So lumber prices, they're on the way down. The economy is trying to return to normal, but we've still got some hiccups. I think the supply side issues are going to be with us well into next year. Some of the countries are not recovering from their shutdown. Some are shutting down yet again. So the supply side issues are going to be a problem. The Fed Open Market Committee meets next week to discuss inflation and discuss tapering. I don't think they're going to use the taper word much. I think they're going to say, well, we're going to look this over in a few months and see what we see on inflation, because they don't want to spook the markets. So next week's going to be a very, very interesting week to watch. Inflation numbers spiked up this week, but interest rates pretty much stayed normal. So it didn't really have a big shakeup. So when we watch these numbers that I see in the inventory and I look at where we need to be to get up to normal, that's a big climb from there to here. But it's possible at 500 units a week to get up to here in 6 months. It's possible. So I'm going to watch that every day. 2 weeks don't make a trend, but when I compare other things going on in the Cromford Index, it kind of matches up what I'm seeing and what Redfin is seeing as well. The charts look similar across the board. So you look at here, and this is our demand. I'm not sure how they track demand. It's just one of those things I don't really need to know the math behind it. But this looks very similar in escalation to 2005. Remember, the crash was here, 2008. This is an index. That's demand. Here's demand. Demand is falling, right? That's great. It's almost down to normal. But the supply is still killing us. But it's come up like 3 weeks in a row, barely. But it still has a long way to go. Now you look here in 2008. I mean, we had a 1 year supply of homes out there. Right now we have 2 weeks. But it's starting to come up. That's a good thing. The market as a whole, Cromford Market Index, is showing that there is definitely a turn. And Redfin is confirming the same thing. Zillow lags a little bit. They come up maybe a couple weeks behind. So those are the numbers that we're going to watch every morning at 8:30 with a recap with Pat, my lender buddy, on Fridays at 3 o'clock. And we will see you then. Don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button.